Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. It's been a long while. I haven't done a video since 2018, I think. Just when I started my own makeup company, like doing freelance makeup artistry. I did 2 videos, I think, and I really enjoyed it, but then my workload picked up and I didn't really find time to film. So I'm in a new setup in my living room this time rather than in my office. And today I'm gonna be doing a favorite concealers video where I go through different formulas, different finishes, and what you can expect from different concealers depending on what results you wanna have. So I'm gonna start with the Glossier stretch concealers. I have the shade G11 and G12, as you can see in the photos. I did a little close-up shots of the shades. I'm pale as shit, so I have the 2 lightest ones, and I mix them both because the one, let's see, G11 is a little bit more yellow, as you might see, and G12 is a little bit more pink. So I mix them to get like I would say a sheer to light coverage. I can swatch them for you. I swatched G12, which is the one that's closest to my skin tone. And I always use a spatula. I never like dig my finger into it, so I use it like this. Just put it on the back of my hand. And hopefully you guys will be able to see that it's sort of just like, it has a glossy finish. I don't want to forget to mention that. But like you can see, it's basically like my skin tone, so it's very light. Just keep that in mind. They have a really good shade range, and since they are a little bit lighter in coverage, they are more forgiving. Like I can probably get away with 2-3 shades. That's why I mix them. But this is definitely a light formula, glossy finish. I would say more suited for you who have dry to somewhat combination skin. Like I have dry to combo skin, and I can get away with this if I just like powder a little bit in my T-zone. Otherwise I'm gonna get super oily. And today I'm actually using this today as like a overall coverage, since I don't really use that much foundation, especially not now like in the springtime. I use this with a like denser, let's see if you can see it, a denser concealer brush that's like flat. It's synthetic. You can find this at any brand. I bought this at like my local drugstore, so it doesn't really have a brand. But I use this, put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I just like spot conceal, and I get like a glowy, glassy finish. And I did also put I don't know how to pronounce this actually, but it's the Dermaceutic K Ceutic Day Cream / SPF 50. I can like insert a picture either here or here to get like a really glowy finish, because I'm in a period where my skin is incredibly dry. And that's why I also wanted to use a glowy concealer on top of it to like have a nice even base, but not too much coverage, since I'm more into that these days. I wouldn't say you're supposed to use this if you have like really dark circles or discoloration around your skin, because it is a sheer formula. It won't really build up that well, I feel like. So it's more so if you just want like lighter coverage, something like for lighter makeup days, and if you don't have like super dark circles around your eyes. And then I'm moving on to the next one, building a little bit on coverage. This Maybelline Fit Me Cream Concealer Doe Foot Applicator. This is also a creamier formula. I put some on my spatula, put some on the back of my hand, as you can see. Yeah, also like a little bit of a glossier finish. I would say this does dry a little bit more matte though. Like you can see, it has a sheen, but if we just let it dry a little bit, it is also definitely more coverage. This is great for underneath your eyes. I usually just use this underneath my eyes because it has a glowy, light finish, but more coverage. So this is great. These also come in like a variety of shades, and these are also not that expensive. The Glossier is not that expensive either. I can write all the prices down wherever I feel like on the screen. But the Maybelline Fit Me is a great drugstore concealer if you want something that is suitable for combo to dry skin, but also has more coverage than, let's say, like the stretch concealer. This is also beautiful to use all around your face to spot conceal, or to actually just use as like a lighter coverage foundation. If you use something like the Real Techniques, what's it called, setting brush, I think. You can put some on the back of your hand, just swirl the brush around and just like go around. Usually you're like the most red or flushed, like across your nose, maybe a little bit on your chin, and yeah, like if you have dark circles. So this is a great combo if you want something light, but a little bit more coverage than the Glossier concealer, and a more natural to like matte finish. Then I'm going into my other last cream concealer, or like liquid concealer. It's the L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer. Full coverage concealer, targeted or all over. This is a great also drugstore concealers. I typically use drugstore concealers on myself. I have different concealers for my makeup artistry kit, but these are the ones I recommend for like personal use, since you can usually touch up during the day, like you have more control over your own makeup. This is also a beautiful concealer. Also doe foot applicator. This is a massive though. It is a huge applicator. And this one is lovely to spot conceal. Not too great underneath the eyes because I am more dry, like I said. Doesn't look great underneath my eyes because it does tend to cake up a little bit. But if I use a little bit, let's see, I put it down here. Like you see, it doesn't really have that much of a reflect. It just evens out like my veininess on my hands. Like you see, it's not reflective at all actually. And that means it's not going to move as much during the day. And this is all based on preference. Like today I'm using a very glowy like day cream, and on top of that a very glowy concealer because I want like the glassy glow, almost like sweaty looking skin. But with something like the L'Oreal, it's perfect for those of you who have combo to oily, but also dry if you do want to spot conceal. But like I said, not great underneath the eyes because it tends to get a little bit crepey. But this is a great drugstore concealer if you want full coverage. It's also sort of a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape, which I actually use in my kit because they actually have better shade range, a better shade range. But these you can find at pretty much any drugstore. It's very affordable, like a big tube. This has lasted me, I maybe have had it for the last 5 or 6 months, and I haven't really put a dent into it. So it's a great option if you can't afford the Tarte Shape Tape, or if you want to try something more full coverage but not splurge on something like the Tarte Shape Tape. But it's a great one. And I actually also use this type of brush, like a denser concealer brush, to just like, I take a little bit on my hand, like I said, dot it where I need it, pat it in, and kind of do my thing. And then when I do use this, I do it in conjunction with the Fit Me one. I use this all around my face where I do want to spot conceal, and this I use just underneath my eyes, or actually on my eyelid if I want to color correct my veins. These are the only two that I use in conjunction with each other because I don't like this one underneath the eyes. And this one is gorgeous on your face, but it gives a more glowy finish. And for my last one, it's actually a bareMinerals, let's see, a bareMinerals Well Rested Powder Concealer. This is more so meant for your under eyes, to be a brightening concealer. This is harder to depot. Let's see if we can get something out of this one. I just do a little bit on the back of my hand. Let's see if you can actually... You can't really see it that well. It's this little spot right here. I'll insert pictures of the product close up as well. But this is, like I said, a powder formula. And the main use I have for this is actually covering like active pimples. I'm very sensitive in my skin, like extremely sensitive. And I can't really, or actually I don't want to put regular concealer on like active breakouts because I do want to soothe it and actually help the healing process, which bareMinerals is great for because they have all natural ingredients and they are really, really nice and good for sensitive people or sensitive skin people. Yeah, like I said, this is a shade Well Rested, more so meant for underneath your eyes. That also has SPF 20, but I use it usually just to spot conceal on like my active breakouts. But since it is a powder concealer, it actually sticks really well to any type of surface on your face, whether it be your under eyes or on your nose or on your chin or your cheeks. And I just put some out on my hand. I either use like my finger, and they're always clean. I always clean my hands right before I do my makeup. Don't forget about that. Always cleanse your hands, your wrists, and sanitize before you touch your face, because most of the time the bacteria that causes your acne is actually not from like you being dirty or like not cleanse your face enough. It's actually from when you actually touch your face, from like touch different surfaces or haven't washed your hands properly. But yeah, either I use my hand, like my usually my middle finger or my ring finger, or I would use something like this. This is a tiny, actually natural haired Morphe eyeshadow brush. It doesn't have a name. I bought it in a kit, so I'm sorry, but you can probably find something similar on their website. It has like super short bristles. It's very like densely packed. And this is great for powder concealer since it is a natural bristle brush. And for this particular concealer, I would actually recommend powdering, even if you're more on the dry side, because it is a powder formula. I feel like sealing it with a mineral powder or just like a regular setting powder makes it last longer. And especially if you have like an active breakout, your skin around the pimple is usually very, very stretched, and product can have a hard time to hold on to that spot. So I put this down first with the brush, pat, and then I will use something like the bareMinerals Mineral Veil. This is just a travel size. This is a mineral-based setting powder, ultra translucent, to just make sure that the spot is concealed all throughout the day and won't really like shine through. Sometimes they do anyways. I mean, like, I don't really care. I usually cover my spots just because I don't want to like be annoyed by it all day, but otherwise I don't really think about it. And yeah, that was pretty much all I had to say about concealers. So just like to wrap it up, the Glossier Stretch Concealer is for a dry to somewhat combination skin people. Variety of shades, glossier finish, doesn't really have the best staying power, but looks great on the face if you don't really mind it like moving throughout the day or just like making your skin really glowy. And then we went into the other just liquid concealers, which was the L'Oreal Infallible and the Maybelline Fit Me. Drugstore priced, glowier finish, nice around the eyes and all around your face. Matte finish, more full coverage, great for spot concealing, not too great underneath the eyes if you're more dry like me. And then for my last one, powder concealer from bareMinerals, Well Rested, really nice formula, great for sensitive skin. I feel like all of these work good for sensitive skin since I've used these for a long time. I would say the Maybelline Fit Me is my tried and true. I think that was like one of the first concealers I ever bought when I was like 14, 15. It's been a staple ever since and I love it. And yeah, the brushes everyone could benefit from having a short bristled, kind of dense synthetic concealer brush. You can use this for eyeshadow, concealer, whatever you like. And the Real Technique setting brush, love this one. You can use it for concealer, you can use it to powder, you can do like contour. It's a great all-around brush. Also quite affordable, like you can find it at most makeup stores around or online. And then just a really short bristled Morphe brush. Lovely brush for very like small pinpointing concealer application, and it's also a great staple. I think this is actually an eyeshadow brush for like doing your lower lash line, but I'm all for multi-purpose brushes, multi-purpose products. I never really restrict a product or a tool for just like what it's meant for. Makeup is supposed to be fun, easy, creative, and you shouldn't feel limited if you just have 3 brushes. Like you could do an entire face with these 3 brushes. If you just have a towel, or like what I have just like a rack of paper towels that you can just like swap the brushes on. These are great. So this is just like a mini compilation of the concealers that I'm loving and have been loving for a long time. Like I said, depending on what skin type you have, what finish you want, check out and just listen to my description of the ones that you might like or might fit your skin type. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something today and find this helpful. And if you want, please leave suggestions down in the comments. I will list all the products in the description box. And yeah, I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe. It helps me a lot, and it just shows me that you guys are interested in my content. And I'm gonna make sure to make more of these like more educational product-based videos, but also like this like supernatural everyday makeup tutorial, like some hair stuff, just like I said in my other 2 videos. If you haven't seen them, please go watch them. I'll link them down below as well. And I hope you have a great rest of the day wherever you are. Bye.